Okay, we are live. Hello, 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 Intuition of the Soul members. We just wanted to hop on today and just talk to you for a few minutes. Um, Kitty and I had been talking, and I had been noticing this a lot too, since this lunar eclipse and all this energy that we've got going. So, if though you are watching this when it's way past that, it's still okay because the message will still be a good message for you to hear. So, I feel like, and a lot of people that I follow and I listen to on YouTube and Instagram, they've been talking about the truths coming out. So, and what they're saying is that, some there's going to be maybe some big bombshells, but it could be just smaller things. There might be bombshells in the collective, or really big impacts that come out in your life. But it's the light is being shown on the truth, and so people are saying different things, and you might be going, whoa, I never knew that about them. And it could be some shadow work, but it also could be like, wow, they've really kind of awakened a little bit or opened up, to other possibilities. I've had both examples happen just this week. And so I was like talking to Kitty about it because I'm like, it just really feels like that there's that energy there. So, what we want to talk to you about today is when that happens, if you're experiencing that, and out in the collective or in your family or on this group or in any group that you're in, how do you handle it? How are you going to handle it? Because there might be some things that come out that you don't want to hear. If it's shadow work of another person, and also, that's a good reminder to check your own, check yourself. Is your shadow work some things that you could be working on coming out as well, or having that light, shown on some of those things? And
Yeah.
so it's been just a week. I've just been feeling it. So I'm going to pass it over to Kitty. She's got a few comments too, but
Well, it's beyond. It's a light being shown a lot about our ego work and about these truths. Are they our beliefs and truths, or are we just holding on to some kind of story that we tell ourselves? And so, one of the things we wanted to talk about was we here at IOTS want to talk about some basics. We're always talking about the ethics, how to keep this
Mhm.
a safe, sacred space. And one of those things is when you're dealing with other people here at IOTS, and maybe you have a question about something that they said, answer, seek knowledge, ask. Part of this light being shown upon truths is a light being shown upon our piece of any interaction, our responsibility of any interaction.
Right.
So if we treat each other like we would like to be treated and we don't quite understand, we ask rather than going to another member and saying, well, this person is blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah, and jumping into kind of our judgments or how we want to deal with them.
Right.
Before we decide we're not going to spend time with them or they're a great person,
Mhm.
uh, we ask. And what's the worst we're going to find out? Our perceptions were true. And
Yeah.
that's that whole idea is what is truth? We go back to that judgment. Is it
Oh, yeah.
true? Do I
Is it
really know it's
really
true?
true?
Right.
I love that one. I love that because right away you're going to go, yes, it's true. And then the second part, when you ask again, it's slower, it's more of a pause, it's more reflective. Is it really true?
and and the
And if you
belief
don't
is
know, what do you do?
right. And if I let go of that belief,
Mhm.
what happens? Oh, the inside world I create, that's that be impeccable with your word of the four agreements, is
Mhm.
if I don't participate in gossip, and gossip can be me talking about somebody, if I have something about somebody to ask, I should ask them.
Yeah.
And that's how we create safety because then we
Yeah.
will multiply. It doesn't mean we're going to like everybody, but we will multiply
Right.
that safety when
Mhm.
we check in with each other.
Right.
And then, like I said, the worst we're going to
Right.
find out is it's really what we think anyway.
Yeah.
So it is for safety's sake, we talk to each other. And then we can learn to step back and be the observer,
Mhm.
and that becomes on them if it's their shadow work.
Right.
If
Yeah.
something is bothering me, it's my suffering, it's not theirs if I don't ask them about it. So it's one of the things we
Right.
really want people to think about in their interactions, especially if they're interacting with fellow soul tribe people. You
Hmm.
know,
Oh
what
yeah, definitely. Because it is out there. That energy is out there right now. So you are going to encounter this. That's just a given. You're going to encounter this. And so what you need to do, like what Kitty was just talking about, is how are you going to react to that?
how are
Truths
you going to
are
let
going to
that
come
light?
out. Yes, and you are going to have to decide, how you're going to react to that, because some of it might not be, of a higher vibration. And we want to make sure that that's where our group stays. And basically, I mean, think about it. The right thing to do is just to ask for that clarification. If someone says something that, triggers you or whatever, there could be miscommunications, I guess, with this energy too. So you simply just ask, what did you mean by that? Or I'm not sure I understand. That's just what we do. That's just good communicating rather than going into that space where, all right, I'm done talking to you. I'm offended, this kind of thing. I don't want to talk to you. We have to be able to have a safe space where we can agree to disagree, especially in the spiritual community. Everybody's got their different beliefs, and yet, hold space for each other,
And holding space means I just walk away from it. It's if it triggers me, I own the trigger, and that's who they are. I don't have to solve them, fix them, you know. And it really is about what is the truth here. It's
Mhm.
my suffering because I'm reacting, and I am personally learning that if I don't participate and don't hear some of this, I'm not as easily involved in all these other
Right,
conversations that go on outside.
right,
So we
right.
really just were talking about, even between members, what we can promise you is if we have a question for you, we will come to you. If we
Mhm.
learn something from an interaction from you, we probably will not by name take it specifically, but we'll probably take the information out to the group too and say, hey, we've learned this. This is kind of a guide. This is kind of an ethic. This is kind
Yeah.
of a spirit 101
Mhm.
boundary that we're learning because we
Yeah.
are all learning. This is new territory for many of us, actually for the
Mhm.
world.
Oh, definitely. Right, because if it's true for you, it's true for the collective, the micro and the macro. I mean, there it is. So that's why, because we were experiencing it in our lives, we thought, okay, others must be experiencing it as well. And it's that energy. It's that energy. The light is gonna be shown on the truth, and it's
A-
gonna come out whether, you know,
And
you
it
want
is
it
your
or
voice.
not.
Statements like they drive me crazy. Do they really
I
drive you
say that
crazy?
a lot about
Yeah.
myself.
Does it really drive you crazy? Right, because when you start saying about other people, you've probably been saying about yourself. So that's why you start with yourself. And if
Yeah.
sometimes I have to ask my own self, do you really believe that? Or is that something about you? So we
Yeah.
just thought we
On
wanted to,
certain days, I do believe I'm a little crazy, but
yeah,
no.
in a good way,
That's right.
And
Yes, you're
so
definitely.
it really is. This light is very
Yeah.
interesting that's being shown. These truths that are coming forth, and if
Very
we can
illuminating and surprising. And like I said, some of them are like, wow, that's so great that I've heard something in what that person said that has made me go, oh, they're getting it, or they're starting to, expand their thinking. And then I've heard the opposite too, like, what? You
Well,
know?
and can we, when we hear these truths, are they
Mhm.
true? Are they really true?
Yeah.
And if so,
Mhm.
if I let go of that belief, what happens? My life
Mhm.
becomes calmer. And,
Yeah, for
can
sure.
I be the observer as a
Mhm.
lot of people start spinning and going, that's not
Yeah.
where I want to participate. I want to hold that higher vibration that reaches more people. Because when I
Mhm.
participate at this 200, 300 level, that I get two or three people. When I'm up here holding the space going, you know what? That's your place. You have your own space. and I get clarification for myself and not take it personally, I magnify that vibration and I hold that higher space.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it,
Mary, that's a beautiful comment. That's a beautiful comment that you
we should
just
probably read it
said.
because in the video they
Oh,
won't be able to see
okay.
that yet.
It says, I just couldn't have found you lovely ladies at a better time in my life. Thank you for this message. I'm learning about holding space and letting go. I love
Yay!
it.
So
And that's
I am
exactly what
too.
we're here to do. That, I mean, we are learning and we are holding space for each other, and we are in that learning process, that learning curve, just like all of you are. So when something comes to our attention and we're experiencing it in our own life, we go, you know what? I bet other people are too, and they can learn from our learning. Does that make sense? I think we
Hmm.
all learn from each other. And so that's why we come on and we have these little videos and we just share these things. And because we're all in this together to learn about this stuff.
Oh, I like that, Kit. I say to my
Yeah.
husband, I don't understand what you're saying, even if it really is the way he's communicating. And that way it takes the focus off him, of him thinking that he said something wrong or incorrect, and it puts it on me and my understanding. Oh, I like that, Kit. I really do.
Yes. Oh my
You
gosh,
know,
that's great.
so
And
I
you
do
know
it.
what else? That is just a beautiful way of communicating. Um, with someone. We need more of that. That there's no judgment in that. You're just allowing him to be able,
Right.
you're holding the space for him. Oh, that's just beautiful. I love
And
that.
another
What
way
a
you
great
hold
example.
right, it's a beautiful example. Another way you hold space is if they're way too into their whatever,
Mhm.
no, you're accused, then you can walk away and say, we can talk about this at another time and space. I will
Yeah,
ask you about it.
yeah,
But right now, we're not superhuman. Sometimes we're just triggered and we just need the space away from it. And go back with your ego and say, you know what? How I try to learning to talk to my ego like it's my friend.
yeah.
Hey, I just need some space. Let's not get into that and let's take some space away
Yeah.
from it. And then it's not always
No,
protecting. So there's a lot of things to learn as this light
I
gets
love
shined
that.
upon. What is it I
Well, and
want?
and just just the way, if you even just look back into the collective and the way we've been communicating with each other,
Hmm.
it hasn't been good. We got to start somewhere. We got to start holding the light for each other. We got to support each other so that we can shine our light out to others, because there's just this is a whole collective issue and problem right now.
And
And with some of this shadow stuff coming out and some of these truths coming out, it's not going to improve if we continue to communicate the way we always have, or the way we've been doing for
well,
the last few
where do you
years.
want to send your energy? Do you want to send it in the conflict and the going back, or do you want to send it in I can step back and stay out of, I can magnify at a higher level. Low level isn't bad. It's just more physical and dense to get through.
Yeah.
If at a higher level, I can reach more people because I don't have to go through that density.
It's
So,
airy. It's up there. It's airy.
and I really don't always know when I'm in it what's going
Oh,
on. So if I don't ask or I'm not in a place
oh
to
yeah.
ask, I
Hmm.
can step back. So it really is
Yeah.
about, what's the light showing me?
Yeah, exactly. But one other thing I just want to add. It's about asking, but then it's about truly listening.
Hmm.
Because you can ask someone, what do you mean by that? But if you are already in that defensive mode, or you've already made that judgment or that opinion or whatever, are you really listening to what the other person is saying? So make sure that you aren't listening in that state or with that judgment. If you ask someone to clarify what they meant, then you have to come forth and ask that, um, with the intent that you're really listening to what they're saying. Don't make it just a reflex. Like, what do you mean by that? You really want them to tell you, I don't understand, which I love what Kit said, is because then that gives them a chance to explain it. But then when they do, you need to listen, which means don't formulate your rebuttal or your response. Listen, listen and take in what they're saying. Because so often we just go like, well, I'm going to tell them to, whatever, as soon as they stop talking, or I interrupt them and tell them that. No, if the communication goes two ways, it is about asking, talking, but it's also about genuinely listening.
And if you are triggered and you step away, if you start running scenarios in your head, know that that's about you and not them.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is that, how do I step back? How do I know I'm responsible for the impeccability of my own words? And often, if you look at how you speak to yourself, that's why your communication looks like that on the outside.
Yeah.
So that's another piece of this. Not only is the light shining outside for you, but that's for the inside. Oh, probably if I get in the same loop all the time, it's because I'm in the same loop when I'm communicating with myself. So how do I create something inside that I can magnify outside? So
Good point, Miss Kitty. Good point.
So remember, answer, seek, knowledge, ask.
I love that. Oh my God, she's such a teacher. No,
I am.
I never heard that one before. Answer,
Seek knowledge. Ask.
Love it. Okay, we don't want to make this too long. We really wanted to make this brief, although I love chatting with you and hearing your comments and feeling
Well, I think we're going to end up making another. What we've decided is we're going to make we're going to make an entrance video for new people coming on to let them know that this is kind of an expectation. We're not here to talk about each other. We're here to hold sacred, safe space. I may not agree with you, but that doesn't mean I'm going to talk to other people. And if I have a question with you, I'm going to ask you.
Right.
And know that you're going to be asked. And we promise that if there's something going on that we're not comfortable with, if we've adjusted for something and we have a question, we're going to come to you.
Yeah.
We're going to say to you, here is the issue. Can you help us with this? So that's we have to practice what we preach, Amy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's this, we're all a different flavor. There's so many flavors on here. And, some flavors are
like better than others.
Like better than others. Right. So, but that's okay. That's all right. But we always are respectful first.
I like what Sue said. I like that's Sue Senden that says, if you don't understand, ask, please say more. Get the clarification. And if you aren't in the place to listen, know that and say, that's all right too.
Can we talk about this another time?
We can talk about another time. So, we just want to keep this safety and a place to explore spiritual practices is IOTS in a free, safe space, and for other people to practice even as they become leaders themselves. So that's what we want, because there are parts we're all leaders for, and there are parts we're all learners for. So.
Oh yeah.
And we thank you.
As former teachers, we always learn so much as we were teaching, and that's my philosophy. When I teach, I learn, and so I love that too. But anyway.
and we're it's the same. Learning and teaching is in the same breath at all times, and we're lifelong learners. We're both big believers in lifelong learning.
That's right, because they say that keeps you young if you learn something new every day. So I try to do that, even if it's just something. So I'm not like Kitty though. I don't go and look up physics, because I would be asleep because it would be way too much for my mind to take. But I still learn something every day. It's just not.
So. But anyway, we just thought we've been talking a lot about holding space, the heart, the sacral chakras, talking a lot about how we hold the space. And that's because this light of truth is stepping forward. Yeah. We're really getting ready for this next evolution. And we're all part of it here. And we make mistakes. And so one of our next reinventions with IOTS is to make sure people understand that this is what we expect. We are here to agree to be that in the group, and obviously you don't have to have a conversation, but you can ask a clarifying question in writing or all of those things.
Sure.
So
and it's a great time to have that light shown on all of us, because it's like I feel like there's so much that's going to happen in these just, the end of this year, that the new year, I want to start out the new year with, doing some of these things, just having some of these practices, having some of this awareness, because I don't know, I'm just really excited about the new year. I
Well,
hope it'll be great, but I'm just really excited about it.
so one of the things Amy and I are going to be doing in the new year is a class
Yeah.
with a minimal charge. It's going to be called Spirit 101, and we're going to be going over the ethics. And we invite a lot of people to participate, so they're part of this message that gets out there as we all step into our own groups and our own learning, that we can kind of, one of the things, if you're not a teacher, you don't know, is a class usually writes their own rules about
Oh,
how they're going to treat each other. And I think that that's very true for our awakening, whether you're going to be leading a group or participating in a group, things like asking, things like, is it okay if I give you messages? All of those things I think are really
yeah.
important to be
Oh, yeah.
taking a look at.
There's so many things that, that a lot of people don't know that they don't know, if
Right.
that makes sense. So the Spirit 101 class is going to be great, because it's just going to be all those things that Kitty and I have learned in just our
From
own
you guys.
experiences, from you guys, from other groups. And you made a really, really important point, Kitty, is that there's so many people that are going on to create their own groups, or going on to create spiritual businesses that are going to be online, and maybe some in person if we ever get there. But yeah, so it would really be beneficial, um, for those people, again, to have those basic ethics about it. I think it's going to be a great class. I'm really, really looking forward to teaching it and learning from it.
Yeah, I am too. Very, very much. Um, and we thank everyone out there in Intuition of the Soul, past, present, and future,
Yeah.
because you're helping this evolution, this awakening, have the truths in there. There are truths in the way we can teach each other and learn from each other, that are respectful and
Yeah.
that help us all with our own judgments. What do we participate in? What kind of conversations do we have? So
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, and well, we're at 22:33, so maybe we should jump off. You think? All
So
right.
we'll see you
Aloha.
tomorrow for
Oi.
Aloha Oi for Vibe of the Week.
Vibe of the week. Oh my gosh, so much energy has been coming, and I can't even imagine what it's going to be like. And you probably already
And
know.
we're sliding right, well, it's a week of gratitude, Thanksgiving in the United States.
Well,
And
yes, yes, yes,
and we're
yes.
sliding right into the seasons of light. And boy, the light's strong right now.
Wow, I love it. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for that reminder. All right, watch Five of
Well,
the Week tomorrow. We'll see
all
you.
right. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.